Right now I am going to show you how to use this Wagner Paint Sprayer. I will go over everything that you need to know to get started on and complete your first project with the machine. I'll go over the machine in its entirety, all of the different pieces and getting it put together. Also how to thin your material depending on what you're working with. I'll show you how to use the viscosity cup that comes with the paint sprayer. Today's project is this wooden chair that I purchased from IKEA a while ago. It's finally time to get this project marked off the list. And then finally at the end, I will show you how to properly clean and store your machine. First things first, let's go ahead and take a look at today's supplies that we will need for the project. First, of course, you will need the Wagner Paint Sprayer. Then I have a drop cloth to keep the area clean, a mixing bucket which will be used to thin the material, and some stir sticks to help with that. A cone strainer or filter. This will be used to filter the paint before we put it in the machine to avoid any clogs. Then I have water that I will be using to thin the paint. Today's paint is Olympic Paint Plus Primer. It's white and it is water-based. I have a N95 mask or respirator and then eye goggles for protection. The wooden chair here is the project, the star of the show today. I have these foam blocks that I cut that I will be using to prop my project up on, so to avoid sticking to the plastic. And then the cardboard to test the spray before I jump into the project. Let's get to know our machine here. Now when you get the machine, you may need to put it together. It's got this little switch here on the side that you just need to pull down so you can rotate and twist to pull the nozzle off. On the nozzle here, you have an arrow. You can point this arrow towards the unlock icon here on the machine and then rotate it into place to lock it in, and then that little plastic piece will again lock the nozzle so it won't accidentally rotate off. Now here you have the nut, the spray cap, and the nozzle. So let me take this apart and show you that. So this is the nozzle here, and this is how you will take it apart for cleaning in the future. So again, that's the nozzle. The other gray piece here inside of the nut is the air cap, and then the yellow piece is the nut. And then this is going to be important on how you set up your machine for your spray pattern. So you can simply screw this on here and you can see the air cap just rotates in there freely. And this allows you to actually set it in the spray pattern that you want. So here we have a horizontal setting, we have a vertical setting, and then if you offset it to the side here, you can have a circle pattern. So depending on what you're painting, you can adjust the spray pattern. So we are going to start with the horizontal pattern here. And then you can simply rotate it until it locks in place. You will need to hold the air cap, otherwise it will rotate while you are tightening the nut. So hold it in place while you tighten the nut. It comes with a larger container and a smaller one. The larger one holds up to 48 ounces, the smaller one holds up to 28 ounces. And then you've got the viscosity cup. You want to run out time. I'm shooting for about 25 to 40 seconds for this paint. The user manual does come with a chart, so you can refer to the user manual depending on the material you're working with to select the appropriate run out time. Now there is a rule of thumb, and that's about a 1:3 ratio. So when you're thinning something, for every 1 parts of thinner, you use 3 parts material, and that's a good rule of thumb or a starting place. It's not always 100% accurate, but that's a good place to start. So here, I like to put everything in the mixing bucket, then I'll filter it into the container. So I am going to start with my 3 parts of paint, and then I will add the water to it as needed. Now it's time to check the viscosity. Again, run out time of about 25 to 40 seconds. All right, so it's still a little thick yet. We're just gonna add a splash more water here. Let's go ahead and check the run out time again. So that is right about where I want it. Run out time is about 35 seconds. So now let's go ahead and set up the filter and put it in our container. Make sure that there's no debris or particles in the actual container. In we go. And now we can go ahead and fill her up. All right, so now we can go ahead and put the container on the gun. Now you'll notice you have a dip tube here. You can, and it's got an angle to it. So if you're going to be pointing the gun down at an angle here, you can have the dip tube facing forward so that it'll pick up the paint or the material, or you could rotate it backwards, and this dip tube just pops in and out of the bottom of the machine here. So you can just rotate it. If you think you will be holding the gun at an angle, go ahead and angle it which way you need it. Now you also have a knob here that you can twist for more or less solution or spray, and that's how you will adjust how much you will be spraying. So let's go ahead and put our container on, and then we will get to testing our spray. So that's the vertical spray. Now we can go ahead and try to offset it a little bit and do a circle spray. So I want to loosen the nut a little bit, cock it to the side. Alrighty, I'm going to start here with the back of the table, back of the chair. I've got my foam blocks. Again, I'm just setting this up so it avoids sticking to the actual plastic. So one thing I've learned is to not let it rest up against the plastic. So for that, I have a stir stick and I'm simply going to rest it up against so it's away from the actual plastic. Perfect. So the first coat is on, went on nicely. Now it's just time to let it dry, and then we'll go ahead and apply more coats as necessary until we are all done here, but it's going on really easy. So far, so good. Well, everything looks really good. We've got a nice even coat over the entire chair. So now let's go ahead and clean the spray gun. So remember I taught you before how to release the nozzle, so we can go ahead and take it off. Now let's go clean everything for easy storage. First, I will dump any of the leftover paint back into the paint bucket. Then to clean the machine, I will simply take it apart, rinse it with warm water. After that, I will fill the container back up with soapy water and run that through the gun to actually make sure that I clean out everything on the inside running the gun. So there you have it, everything you need to know to start using the Wagner Paint Sprayer. Links to it in the description of this video. You can get it and use it the same day. The learning curve is very low, and actually it turns out a great product on your first time use. If you like DIY around the house stuff, check out how to paint your laminate kitchen cabinets. This is a project I did last summer and it really brightened up the space. And the best part is, no sanding or priming required. If you like DIY around the house stuff, please feel free to like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. My name is Drew Smith. I'll see you in the next one.